me tell you something. That Eastern Regional Pastry Net is getting on my nerves because they have purposely excluded you. They've excluded me, even though I've never tried to get onto their stupid net. But they use my call sign in a derogatory way. One of these days, I'm just going to come on there, and they're not going to get me off because they've been pushing the limit. And I've been trying to steer clear of them just because I don't want to, make it worse. But I don't like it. See, that one time that they excluded you, you weren't doing anything wrong at all. They just said, oh, we think you're a QRMer, hit the road. That's not right. I hope they're listening. Well, that's right. That's right. But it's going to be worse than that because.
So Joe admits he's going to QRM the Patriot Net.
No, what I'm about to do, and you could tell him, Jim, you could tell him this. If I keep hearing my call sign in a derogatory fashion on that net, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out here before they fire up, and I'm going to take the frequency. And when they come on and say, oh, it's time for our net, I'm going to say, so what? Go find another frequency. And then it's just going to be a war.
Yeah.
If they keep slandering me, and they keep slandering Mike, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Understand the limits.
Yeah.
Limits. They keep slandering people, and they're going to feel that there's going to be people.
Yeah.
And they could say, oh, you're jamming a directed net.
Jam away.
If we're here first, they have to find another frequency. And I'm tired of getting pushed by them.
All right, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you have any call signs that you could give to me that I should contact?
That you should what?
Oh, come on, Jim. That I should contact.
No, I don't care
Come
who you
on,
contact.
Jim, you're full of
Do
shit.
whatever you want to do.
If you have some call signs in particular, I know a person that has run it for the longest time. I'll contact him, but do you have any other call signs?
No, I don't really care.
Oh, geez. All right, I'll just contact the guy that I know has headed it up for a while. Well, there's two of them, but one of them, I don't have his email address.
Oh, no, I'm just saying. Well, what they're doing is they're throwing your call out there in a derogatory fashion, and then they come out here and they kind of imply that they have the frequency scheduled. That's what they do, and you know that, okay? And others know that. But that's not the way it's supposed to work. If there are others using the frequency, they're supposed to find a different frequency. And I know they're not going to like that, but that's what's going to happen if they continue to degrade people by throwing out your call, especially when you're not even around. They really push the limit. And it's one person in particular, and I think you know who it is.
All right. I don't listen to their net that often. I've listened a few times. I only hear the end of their net at some times. I usually don't even come down here till 10 o'clock, Joe. But I think I know who you're speaking of, and we're probably thinking the same person. Okay. Whether you know it or not, they have moved frequency a number of times in the past due to similar circumstances where a person might be on 61 or 62 or 60. They have moved the net. I don't know. Did you know that?
Well, let me tell you something. They act like they own this frequency. When others were on here before, and I listen to it frequently, when others are out here, they tend to come out here and say, well, we're about ready to fire up our net. Can you move? Well, if I'm on here and they come out and say, we're about to fire up our net, can you move? I'm just going to say, no, I'm not moving. You move. And that's what's going to happen. They keep throwing call signs out here as QRMers, okay? So if they want to play that game, we can play that game. And I'm just saying, in order for it to be fair, don't throw the call signs out there. I mean, because they're slandering you. Then they come out and say, well, we don't have to recognize certain operators. They particularly won't let Mike check into that net. I mean, he's tried a couple of times, and they just refuse. And it's
That's their prerogative.
And that's supposed to be run. They don't know anything about amateur radio. They're just a bunch
They
of
know enough about it to know that their prerogative is not to recognize operators they don't want to recognize. That's the part you don't understand.
That is true. That is true, Jim. But let me tell you, you know what the other side of that coin is. The other side of the coin is I will come out here early and I will stay the whole time. And then they're going to get to move. Why? Because I'm right in the middle of them. I'm in Missouri or near Missouri, and that's where most of these guys are. But
yeah, so basically, what Joe's saying is I'm having a bit of a conniption, and I'm going to piss off Annette simply because I feel butthurt. Come on, Joe, that's what you're saying. That's
hey,
exactly
Joe.
what you're saying.
Hello, Joe.
It's over and over again. They've thrown my call sign out there and saying, oh, don't recognize that guy. First of all, it's not even me. They assume it's me. They throw Mike's call sign out there and accuse him of being a QRMer, which is wrong. He just tried to check in. So if they want to be...
No, Mike did more than that. Now you're being false.
Then you better not be...
Now you're being false, Joe.
...there as a QRMer. Because otherwise, you're going to motivate me to come out here early and stay out here, and then you can go find another frequency. And I know they're not going to like it, and it's going to get ugly, and I think all of that could be avoided if they just get a little common sense. Stop accusing people of jamming their net when they're not even here.
Well, let me ask you, when's the last time you heard me check into that net?
Well, I haven't heard you check into it in a long time. I don't know if you've ever checked into it.
Thank you. So it really is nothing off my shoulders. However, it's a decent net. And I will let Jerry, I think that's who you're talking about in particular, I will let Jerry know what you just said. I think your motives in what you want to do are skewed. Do I think that they should blame you? In the past, I've not heard you doing anything. I have heard you towards the end of the net when their net was ready to sign off come in there and do your little Haney laugh or woohoo Marca. I've heard you do that a few times right towards the end of their net. Not that it really bothered them that much, and nor did they call you out at that time. But I have heard you do your little things. No biggie. Not a big deal there, Joe. But I have heard WA7FCF get as foul-mouthed as a person can get. And that's why he won't be recognized. And that is their prerogative, and you damn well know it.
Wait a minute. Let's clarify something. Let me clarify something. You just said that you're not out here early, correct?
Generally not, but in the times that I have been, like firing up the recorder and stuff, because I come down here somewhere between 8 and 9 o'clock, turn on the record, and go back upstairs. And I've heard you in here.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to tell you is you have not heard what they've said when they throw my call sign out there and WA7FCF's call sign out there. You have not been around when they were falsely accusing us of jamming their net.
I've been around a few times, not a lot, but generally I'm upstairs doing other things.
I understand.
But I've heard it several times. Not you, Joe. I will admit, you just kind of make a few little noises and your chuckles and shit like that. And that's near the end of the net, and it's like not really a big deal. FCF, I've heard him on his profanity tirades a few times. Yes, I have heard that.
Hey, Joe, do you copy? This is KC2 on mute. Do you copy, Joe?
I come in at the end. That's right. When they've announced that they're leaving, I come in. And that's my right, because they're done with their net. They've shut their net down. If you've noticed, I wait for the net controller to say, I'm closing the net. That's it. And that's when I come in. That's the way it's supposed to be. The problem is, in the previous hour, they may have mentioned my call sign 3 times saying, don't talk to that QRMer, when it's not even me. Okay? Or they mentioned Mike's call sign 3 or 4 times, don't talk to that QRMer, when it's not even him.
Well, it was him the times that I heard it.
Okay, that's getting old. And so the only way that I can figure out to prevent it, I jumped in there one time. I jumped in there one time and said, hey, it wasn't me. Don't throw my call sign out there. And they just bristled and continued on with their little hoity-toity. Well, first of all, let me make my comment about that net. That net is the most useless net on the face of the earth, and you know it. Okay? It's totally useless. But that doesn't matter. People have nets, you know, the net. There's nets for everything. The problem is when you start calling out people as QRMers, and then you think you're protected because you're running a net, I disagree.
He doesn't want to hear any commentary back. That's why he runs his mouth as much as he does. Right, Joe?
Can I jump in for a second, KC2OMU?
Because if you get out there before them,
OMU, you got it next.
keep on a yakking. They could go find and if I did that for a week or two in a row, I don't think they would have much of a net left. And I think you know what I can do. I'm right here in the middle of them.
Hey, Joe, if I wanted to kill that net, I could do it myself. So don't even play your stupid games. It's like, so what? You can be an asshole is what you're telling me.
They're going to hear me. So I'm not making any threats at all. I'm just saying I'm playing defense. I'm just saying it would be fair if they just stopped dropping call signs when they think somebody's QRMing them. They just knee-jerk reaction. Oh, that's that WA7FCF, or that's that AC1DD. That's a lie. I don't know if they're delusional or they have no ability to discern different signals or what their problem is. They don't seem like they're very experienced operators, but that's okay. What I'm saying is that's a bad policy because what you're doing is you're inviting me to retaliate.
Hey, Joe, if you had never QRMed anybody before, they probably wouldn't know your call sign or a lot of the other QRMers' call signs. And since QRMers don't ID, and you've been known to do it before, you're going to have to take it with a grain of salt, bite the bullet, and let it alone. Because if you cause more trouble, they're just going to use your call sign more. I mean, you're not no freaking angel on the radio. I guarantee you that much.
Let me tell you, you've got it backwards. If they keep dropping my call sign, I'm going to be there before them, and they're not going to be there. That's what's going to happen. And if you think you could root me out, wrong. It won't work. I mean, that's just stupid. Why are you inviting trouble for no reason, especially when we're not even there? I have recordings where I'm dead quiet, and they're throwing my call sign out there saying, oh, that's him, don't talk to him.
Okay, so that implies that you've been there not dead quiet when they threw your call sign out.
No, I'm there. I'm
throwing
listening.
Joe under the bus with people, giving them his call sign, warning them of him.
Hey, you're a piece of shit, Mike. Why don't you grow up?
Joe, that was really ignorant of you. I'm trying to get to it, you know, so that they won't do that in an incorrect fashion, and you're just being an asshole. You really are.
Minutes before they start, and just grabs the frequency and starts talking, and they come along and say, well, it's time for our net. That person has the right to say, I don't think so. And that person's going to be me if they keep talking about me or Mike in Iowa. That's what's going to happen.
And they've moved frequencies, and I've already told you that. They've moved frequencies in the past for a similar situation where somebody had been on the frequency and for whatever reason wasn't going to relinquish it, and they've moved. The only thing they asked, and this is probably something you wouldn't grant, but everybody else would, is if somebody could stay on the frequency to let people know that the net has moved to a different frequency. Now listen to Mike out there. Mister, I cannot complete one sentence without profanity.
Shut up, Jim.
Joe, can I make a comment, Joe?
God bless Robert E. Lee.
Shut up, Mike. Shut up, Ohio, Mike. You don't know anything.
Shut the fuck up.
You're so damn disconnected.
Robert E. Lee.
You're just a chicken bander, Ohio Mike. You don't know anything. You don't know any of the operating rules. You don't know the parameters. You don't know what people should do and should not do. You're a chicken bander. You just come out here and you just think you're on the chicken band. Well, if they keep calling someone's call sign out and they keep calling them a QRMer, that eventually will lead to a problem. Can you get that, your head, your little pea brain wrapped around that?
Hey, Joe, can I ask you a question?
It hurts so bad.
Oh,
Joe, can I ask you a question? Joe, can I ask you a question?
You're just a waste of space. You're just a waste of space. Your attitude is, oh, you just let them talk about you. Well, it's been going on for 6 months. I mean, they just have this thing in their head that they could just deride anyone out here. Because we have a net. Oh, their net is so freaking important.
Joe, I know you're hearing me. I'm running 2,000 watts. You can't hear me?
I can barely hear you. You got your audios are all lows. Why don't you put some highs in it so somebody could understand what you're saying?
All right, Joe. I gave you some highs. Can you hear me now?
I'm not talking about you, Mike. I don't know if you're talking to me or not.
This is KC2OMU. Can you copy, Joe? Hello, Joe. Can you copy?
He's upset a little bit.
All right. I tried to jump in too many times. 7-3, everybody. KC2OMU.
Well, if you could adjust your audio where somebody could understand you, maybe we can understand you. You're all lows. Is that the effect you're shooting for? It just sounds like my speaker's rumbling.
All right. I know I'm not having lows now, so you're full of it. You can hear me now.
Did you do that to your audio on purpose? What the hell have you done to your
Joe,
audio?
what? Can you answer me a question?
I want to know what you've
Why
done
are
to your
you
audio. How many
so
different
unhappy?
devices
This is a hobby meant to have fun.
Your
Why are
microphone
you
and
so
your radio?
unhappy? This is supposed to be fun. Are you having fun?
Double. Absolute garbage audio. And you're going to come out here and say, oh, I'm an audiophile.
Yeah, I have garbage audio. Okay. I'm told by hundreds of people that I have very good audio, and you're going to tell me I have garbage audio. Okay, thank you.
Well, that's because they're lying to you.
Yeah, right. Joe, you're lying to me.
No. Why don't you listen to yourself on an SDR, record it, and then play it back off the SDR? That's how you sound.
Just did, so don't tell me.
I'm listening at 100 hertz to 2900 hertz because that's standard SSB bandwidth. I don't know if you're spewing out to 4 kilohertz. I'm not even going to bother looking. But it sounds horrible. I can't even understand what you were saying when you first came in there.
No,
and you're running 2 kilowatts? You're running 2 kilowatts? Do you think is that the effect
if you're listening to 29, this is 29.
I need 12 kilowatts so a guy could hear me when I hear 100-watt stations out there, but I can't understand you.
No, I don't believe it.
Is that the effect you're shooting for? Because that's what you're getting. I mean, when did you think that was a good idea? When?
When did you think that complaining about everything was going to be a fun hobby for you?
Well, I think it's a lot of fun. If you don't like it, you can go somewhere else.
Copy you, Eugene.
You can go somewhere else. You don't have to be here.
Hey, Eugene, go back to our normal frequency, okay?
Yeah, go back to your normal frequency where you could stroke each other's ego by saying how great your audio is. And then when you go somewhere else, everybody says, what did he say? What did he say? You're an idiot. One of these
Go stroke
morons
yourself,
thinks
Joe.
they're going to be running an FM broadcast station through 3.5 kilohertz of SSB. It's not going to work. Keep trying, though. We could sell you microphones and little boxes to your heart's content. What a loser. friggin' moron. Bob Heil ran his little shop 15 miles from my house when I was younger. And let me tell you, if you knew what that boy said about the CBers coming into amateur radio, you would bristle.
Who gives a shit what Bob Heil says?
That's exactly right. But you know what? Came out there with those gold shiny microphones and said, I'm going to sell these to every damn CBer that comes off the chicken band and goes into amateur radio, and damned if he wasn't correct. Oh, I got a shiny mic. I got a gold line. Yeah. Now, how's my audio? What a bunch of fools.
Is that a slander, Joe, or are you just jello?
Why don't you shut up? Yeah, why don't you make me? You know what the old phrase was back in grade school? I don't make trash.
Yeah, you just are trash. Trailer trash. White trailer trash.
Okay, whatever. Damn chicken banders fall onto the amateur bands and bring all their damn bad habits right here.
That's where you started.
I didn't start on the CB. I've never owned a CB radio in my life. I think I saw one once when I was about 17.
Everybody's talking on their walkie-talkie too.
Okay, thanks for self-identifying as CBers. I appreciate it. Step right up.
Where you started.
I know. Why are you ashamed? I started with an HW16, a 75-watt input CW transmitter that could operate on three bands, 15, 40, and 75, with a wire antenna. There you go. That's how I started. You started on channel 19, and then you heard, oh, we don't have to do that CW anymore. I'm going to get my ham ticket. Well, then it was still too hard because you couldn't draw a schematic of an oscillator. So then they dumbed it down and said, oh, well, put the questions online. You just have to memorize them. Then you barely can pass that.
But I am writing Jerry an email to explain the situation because I do know, yes, and I hate to do this, but yes, Joe has been incorrectly blamed for QRMing there. I do know that. Because I did hear his call given out. It's like, no, that ain't Joe. But they did get the other guys right. So I'm going to let Jerry know to chill. Well, actually, I'm not even going to say that. I'm going to say, here's the situation, and then I'll leave it up to him to do whatever he does.
Dang, Joe's going to come over and hug you.
What's that?
Hey, Joe's going to come over and hug you.
Who? Jerry's a jerk off? Yeah, well, he QRMs, but he does it in a legal manner. Much as I hate to say shit like that, I really hate saying that. He does it in a legal manner, and I know the little detail of why he can do it. And it's like, well, unfortunately, but Joe, at least, I give Joe this among other things. He gives us call sign. I know people say, no, he doesn't. Yeah, it's either in Morse code or by another voice. He does. And at least he lets you know who he is. And he's not afraid to tell you what he's going to do if you keep pissing him off.
All right, you got me.
No, I'm not trying to get you. And I'm not trying to stick up for Joe, because Joe pisses me off a lot.
Yeah, Joe.
No, I'm not on Joe's side. He pisses me off beyond the pale.
I think you and Joe are good buddies.
Joe and I are good buddies? Yeah, that'll be the day.
I believe so.
Yeah, well, I guess is today the day?
I think it is.
Oh, man.
are you located, Jim?
Northwestern New Jersey. Real close to the Poconos.
Okay. Yeah, this is King Fox 6, Bravo, Papa Delta. I'm located out here in west central Iowa. I sit out here and listen to you guys an awful lot.
Okay. Well, this frequency has been hosed big time for about 10 months. We may be finding another place to call home and let whoever wants it keep it, because most of the group has had it with this BS. We'd like to talk about other things, and whether we agree with each other or not is another story. Sometimes you just want to kick back and enjoy the camaraderie of friends. Which is what we used to have here.
Yeah, where's Joe located?
Joe is about 25 miles east of St. Louis, Missouri, in Illinois, and Collinsville, Illinois.
Oh, okay. Well, he's not that far from me then. I didn't know you were over on the East Coast, though.
Well, I have a cage dipole and a lot of reflectors, and I believe, I don't know that this is true, but I believe, well, there's more reasons for belief than conjecture, that there's a lot of iron in the ground, among other things, that allow the signal to reflect much better than it would otherwise. So, ground losses are minimal.
Yeah, I can believe that. Yeah, you're about 5 over S9 here in Iowa.
Okay, thank you. I'll look at the meter. I've got this well, where I sit is right at the 45-degree angle on the bench. And that's actually in here specifically for the keyboard and the computer in front of me. As I move to my right, there's the radio system. As I move to the left, there's the computer system. And the radio bench is 12 feet long, and the computer bench is 8 feet long.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds cool. Yeah, I listen to you guys talk a lot out here. And I I'll sit in here at night on 3.860 with you guys. And for a little bit, then I'll get out of there and take off.
Okay, well, I'm just going to let Jerry know what's going on, because I may agree or disagree with the Patriot Net. It doesn't matter. They've been there for as long as I can remember, since I got back on the air around 2001. And, well, they were on the air then, so yeah, they've been on since before then. And, well, I'm not saying that they own the frequency, but when a net meets on a given frequency regularly, people usually respect it. So, just letting Jerry know to be a bit more understanding and know who's actually QRMing before giving out a call sign, because I have heard Joe's call sign given out incorrectly as one of the QRMers. I have heard that in the past. So Joe is correct when he says that that's wrong. It is wrong. But as somebody else pointed out, if you do stuff like he does, you generally get known as a QRMer. Rightly, wrongly, or indifferently. Joe, you know that. So I'm just going to let Jerry know to kind of chill a bit with that. And I'm also sending it out to one of the other net controls. They can spread it from there, because I don't know all the net controls, because they've got a whole bunch of new guys net controlling. I don't know all their call signs nor their email addresses. So I'm sending that to 2 net controls, Copy and Possum Jim, and it's short, sweet, and succinct, and there's nothing nasty at all in it.
Jim Rogers. W6GUN is the jammer.
I'm sorry, we're on what? I'm what?
W3JMD.
Oh, is he the one playing the songs and stuff?
Yeah, because I noticed that the music and songs start later on at night as the band goes longer, usually after Carl checks in.
Okay, well, I don't have my directional up at this moment, so I can't, I cannot either agree or deny to that. So it may very well be true, I don't know.
Anyway, that's my observation. D3LD.
Roger, W3JMD.
Hey, Jim.
Wow, Mike, you've dropped. Yes, sir.
I need to replace the SO239s on the back of my big Dentron Super Tuner. They got a really weird black burnt look to them on the inside where the pin goes in from the coax. Except they're not the 4-bolt and they're not, or the 4-screw, and they're not the 2-screw. They're round with 2 flaps, and I can only find a single flap style online so far. Is there a technical name for them, like double flap, double D, whatever, designation for the ones with 2 flaps, or what?
Okay, this is a bulkhead connector?
It's like a circle, but it has a flap opposite each other. So you slide it in and you put the nut on the outside, snug it down, and solder the wire to the center connector on the inside.
Okay, I don't think it's burnt. It may be that you had actual silver plated. Silver, when it oxidizes, turns real black. Now, there is a treatment. My wife actually has, I don't know, it's like silver polish or some such stuff. It's actually a liquid, so it's not really a polish, but it chemically removes the oxide and puts the silver back in place. And if you were to be able to put a Q-tip or something in there with that, you may be able to bring back the original plating. But silver oxide is conductive, which is the beauty of it.
Don't do it.
And that stuff that they used to sell on TV where they showed a guy putting a real black silver spoon in the stuff and through the clear glass bowl, and he puts it in and it turns it pretty silver again when he pulls it out.
Yeah, but as Mike was saying, you don't even need to do that. Don't do it.
Hey, Jim.
No, yeah, because you're going to wind up leakage all over the place.
That's true. You don't want anything else to happen. And the black isn't bad. If it's truly silver oxide, I'd leave it alone.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah, Ron.
Conducted in
How
copper,
far are you from
black
Warren,
silver oxide.
Virginia?
That was a double. Hold on, Ron. Go ahead, Mike.
Black silver oxide is better conducted in copper.
Well, no, silver oxide is not a better conductor than copper, but it's a conductor. And by plugging the thing in and out, it rubs the silver oxide off. But the silver oxide will form in any case.
Yeah, but premium bucks for that shit.
I know. So, yeah, your advice, I think, is the best. Leave it alone, Mike. Use it as is. Yeah, Ron.
That jammer must be in Virginia because I don't hear them off the SDR there, but I hear all of us talking. I hear you, I hear the person you're talking to, but I don't.
Why do I want to talk about a fucking jammer?
That SDR, that's kind of strange.
Oh, you don't. I know. I don't want to talk about the QRMer, so let's not even worry about them for the moment. Hey, Joe Boy, I sent the email out to 2 of the net controls. Those are the ones I had the email addresses for. And we'll play it from there to make sure that you're not unduly offended.
Okay.
And I'll leave it at that.
Okay, how many days would you like for me to stay away?
Joe, you're an asshole. You do what you want to do. I did what I said I would do. I can't control you, nor do I want to.
Okay, but I ask you, how many days do you want me to stay away?
That's in your camp. That's in your camp. I did what I said I was going to do.
And I'm asking you, how many days would you like for me to stay away?
How does forever sound?
Well, that's not very reasonable.
I know, and that's why I wasn't giving you an answer.
Okay, so you refuse to give a reasonable answer.
No, I don't have a reasonable answer, and therefore I won't give one.
Okay, well, I asked.
Engage it.
You see, I was trying to return the favor if you didn't get it.
Well, I guess I didn't get it. So let's see how this works. What do you feel is reasonable?
Yeah, what do you feel is reasonable?
Well, who are you?
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Oh. I guess I look at this question, huh?
I can barely hear you.
Well, Joe, what do you believe is reasonable?
I don't know.
So, the question that was posed to me is just as difficult to answer by you. We're kind of in a quandary.
How about a week?
2.5 years. Well, that's good for starters.
Guess that wasn't enough.
Well, no, that's good, you know.
I'm not talking to you. I can't hear you.
You can hear me.
I heard me.
You can hear me.
Do you have an amplifier?
I think the power's turned down.
It broke! It blowed up! I blowed up my amplifier!
Okay, what do you consider a fair amount of time for me to let your frequency, those are your words, come back to normal?
No, those were not my words. Those indeed were not my words. I said I sent the email out to the net control and another net control on the Patriot Net, along with KF80D as a carbon copy, and I did what I said I was going to do regarding you being unduly blamed for QRM. Okay, that's what I said I would do. Now, you had said that if this crap continued, where you were being unduly blamed, you might give them a reason to blame you. So, I did this. And now your statement is, how long do I want you not to get involved with QRMing the Patriot Net? And my answer was, I don't have an answer. You pushed, I said finally, I said forever, and you said that's unreasonable.
No, you misunderstood me. I wasn't talking about the Patriot Net. I'm talking about the after Patriot Net party that we have here every night.
Joe, as long as you're a civil person, I don't like your games, I don't. But I can deal with you when you're civil. When you're uncivil, and you know when you are, you definitely know when you are, and so I don't want to get into semantics on that. Then it becomes a bit problematic.
Well, I actually think Possum likes it. I think... Is that you? That's a recording, right?
That's a recording.
Okay. I think Possum actually likes going after me. I think he likes it. But I'm trying to ask you, I'm willing to prove to you that I am somewhat reasonable, and for your gesture, that I'm willing to pay back something.
So you're willing to give some reciprocation?
That's right.
All right, Joe, I appreciate that, all right? Okay, and it's man to man. I appreciate that, okay? Well, and we'll leave it at that. You decide what you feel is appropriate. W3JMD.
Okay, well, what I'll do is I'll be listening most of the time. I'll just hang back for a while. If I come back, I'll come back. Coming back, I'll feel comfortable. I'll come back. But what I'm saying is, I think you know that this kind of is like a fairness thing with me, and you can't just demand fairness. You have to give a little. So I'm willing to do that. So color me gone for a while, and you could tell the others why I'm taking a break, and I hope your little after Patriot Net party here continues on. And my goal was never to drive anyone off of this frequency. The goal was to interact with people on this frequency. And somebody, I don't know, I think it was Possum who said it best. He said that the reason that I probably have, I think he used the word target, which is not a good word, but reason I targeted this group was, in a way, I thought everyone could take it. But maybe I misjudged that. So I'll just be gone for a while, but I'll be listening. Have fun. See you later. Bye.
Thank you, Joe. Don't let the door hit you.
AC1DD.